All right, let's get straight to it. Are the Cowboys really dropping hints about their draft plans, or is it all one big smokescreen? You've seen it before. As the draft approaches, teams start playing the game, showing interest in players, attending pro days, bringing guys in for visits. But how much of that is real, and how much is just to throw off the competition? The Cowboys are no strangers to this. Every year, they seem to have the fan base looking one way, only to surprise everyone with their actual pick. Think back to Micah Parsons. Before the draft, the talk was all about corners. Patrick Surtain II, J.C. Horn. No one saw Parsons coming, but look how that turned out. Then there's Tyler Smith. In 2022, most fans expected an offensive lineman, but his name wasn't even on most people's radar. And yet here he is now, a cornerstone of the O-line. So what about this year? The Cowboys have been linked to multiple prospects, but which ones are genuine targets and which ones are distractions? Are they truly interested in certain players, or are they just sending other teams on a wild goose chase? Here's where you come in. What do you think? Vote in the poll. Do you believe the Cowboys' draft clues are real, or is it all just a strategic smokescreen? Drop a comment below. Who do you think is the real target for the Cowboys in this draft? Are they giving us real hints, or are they setting up a surprise move? Stick around, because up next we're diving into one of the biggest question marks in this draft process, the case of Mike Williams. Is the Cowboys' reported interest in him legitimate, or just another layer of deception? Let's break it down. Now let's talk about one of the names that's been popping up a lot lately. Mike Williams, the edge rusher. Reports and speculation are linking him to the Cowboys more and more. But here's the real question. Is this a true fit, or just a diversion? Mike Williams is a physical freak. Quick off the line, powerful hands, and a relentless motor. On paper, it's easy to see why any team would want him. But when you take a closer look at the Cowboys' current roster, things get a little murky. You've got Micah Parsons, one of the most dominant pass rushers in the league. Then there's Sam Williams, who's still developing but full of upside. Don't forget about Dante Fowler, a seasoned vet who brings depth, and Marshawn Kneeland, a rotational guy with potential. So honestly, do the Cowboys really need another edge rusher right now? That's what's raising eyebrows among analysts and fans. Investing a first-round pick in another edge sounds more like overkill than necessity. Unless the front office knows something we don't, this move doesn't exactly scream top priority. So again, the idea of targeting Mike Williams might just be part of a broader draft strategy, drawing attention in one direction while planning something totally different. Maybe the Cowboys want to force another team to trade up, or maybe they just want to keep their true intentions hidden until the last second. Now I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below. Would you actually like to see the Cowboys take another edge rusher in the first round? Or do you think we already have what we need on the edge? Mini poll right here on the video, yes or no. Should the Cowboys draft Mike Williams with the 12th pick? We've seen this before. Sometimes a name gets a lot of attention, only for the front office to completely shift gears on draft night. Could this be another case of that? Coming up next, we're switching gears and heading to the backfield. Let's talk about the Cowboys' apparent confidence in their current running backs, and whether it's genuine or just another smokescreen. Don't go anywhere. All right, now let's dive into the running back situation, because there's something here that doesn't quite add up. Lately, everything coming from the Cowboys' front office points to a supposed confidence in their current backfield setup. Miles Sanders, recently added to the roster, and Javonte Williams, recovering from injury, are being positioned as a solid 1-2 punch for 2025. At least, that's what they want you to believe. But let's be honest. Do you really feel comfortable heading into the season with that duo as your main offensive firepower in the run game? Miles Sanders hasn't looked like the player he was in Philadelphia. And while Javonte Williams has upside, there are still real concerns about his durability and consistency. So when reporters like David Moore say the Cowboys might not be targeting a running back early in the draft, it makes you stop and think, is that a genuine strategy or just another layer of deception? It wouldn't be the first time Dallas tried to mask their true draft intentions. And that's where names like Ashton Jeanty and Marquise Bucky Irving come into play. These are dynamic, explosive backs who could immediately boost this offense. Jeanty, in particular, stands out with his vision, burst, and ability to contribute in the passing game, something the current backfield lacks. If the Cowboys truly want to regain balance on offense and take pressure off Dak Prescott, investing in a high-upside running back might be one of the smartest moves they could make. But again, the front office might be playing the long game here. Make everyone believe they're content with what they have, then strike hard on draft night with a surprise move. So now it's your turn. What do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you were in charge, which running back would you target in this year's draft? And here's your poll question. Should the Cowboys go all in on drafting a new RB early in the draft? Yes or no? Let your voice be heard. Up next, we're talking about a rising name in the wide receiver conversation, Tet McMillan. Is this another misdirection, or is there real interest behind the scenes? Stick with me, we're just getting warmed up. Now let's talk about one of the most intriguing names rising on the Cowboys' radar, Tet McMillan. If you've been paying attention to the buzz lately, you've probably noticed his name popping up more and more. And it's not just idle speculation. The Cowboys had a noticeable presence at his pro day, and reports are starting to suggest there might be legitimate interest from the front office. But here's the real question. Is this a genuine pursuit, or just another smokescreen? McMillan is a tall, athletic wide receiver with a great catch radius and solid route running. He's not the flashiest name in this class, but his physical tools and upside make him an intriguing option, especially for a team that desperately needs another consistent weapon on the outside. Pairing him with CeeDee Lamb could bring balance to the receiving corps. Still, some fans and analysts are wondering, why not go for an offensive lineman in the first round instead? Why focus on WR when we've got protection issues up front that desperately need fixing? But remember this, the Cowboys have a history of making bold, unexpected picks that seemed questionable at first, but later proved to be brilliant. Just think about Tyler Smith. At the time, most people didn't see it coming, and now he's become a cornerstone on the line. So maybe Tet McMillan is more than just a decoy. Maybe this is one of those situations where the front office is a few steps ahead and we're only now catching up to the logic behind it. Or maybe, just maybe, it's all part of the illusion. Now I want to hear from you. Would you buy into the idea of Tet McMillan being our next big offensive piece? And here's your quick vote in the video. What should the Cowboys prioritize in the first round, WR or OL? Drop your answer and tell me why in the comments. I'm curious to see where you stand. And speaking of priorities, in the final chapter, we're going to bring it all together. What's real, what's not, and what it all means for the future of this team. Let's wrap it up. So after everything we've unpacked, it all comes down to this. Are the Cowboys leaving us real clues about their draft intentions, or are they just playing the classic game of smoke and mirrors? Let's take a step back for a second. There's been a little bit of everything. Reports connecting the team to names like Mike Williams and Tet McMillan, whispers of full confidence in a backfield that hasn't proven much yet, and a front office that's done just enough to keep everyone guessing. But maybe that's exactly the point. If there's one thing we've learned from past years, it's that the Cowboys love playing the draft game on their terms. They've made surprising picks that few saw coming. Micah Parsons, Tyler Smith, moves that raised eyebrows at the time but paid off in the long run. That's why every bit of news right now has to be taken with a grain of salt. It might be a clue, or it might be carefully crafted noise. And honestly, that's what makes this whole process so exciting. The tension, the speculation, the endless debates, it's all part of the fun. At the end of the day, the draft isn't just about filling needs, It's about building the foundation of this team's future. Every pick matters, and whether the front office is being honest or just playing chess while the rest of the league plays checkers, the outcome could define the next era of Cowboys football. So now it's your turn. Drop your final take in the comments. Do you think the Cowboys are showing their hand early, this year, or are they just trying to mislead the rest of the league? Let's turn this comment section into a real war room, because no matter what happens on draft day, this fan base deserves to be part of the conversation. And hey, don't forget to join our live stream on draft night with our partner channel. We'll break everything down pick by pick, and you don't want to miss it. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you in the next video. Let's go, Cowboys!